Welcome to week 13 social psychology class. As you know, last week and this week we're discussing attractiveness, the advantages of attractiveness and really what makes someone attractive. And this will set us up for our last unit on relationships. So first, before we go into what makes a good relationship, what do we look for? What are we attracted to? Is it important for your partner to be attracted? What makes somebody attractive? And if somebody's attractive, does that have an effect on us? For example, the halo effect. We talked about that last week, where we see someone who looks good and we believe all good qualities are attached to that person. They're nice, they're smart, they're kind, they're healthier, they're happier. Not necessarily true. But there are advantages of high attractiveness. First of all, a first impression. So a highly attractive person tends to make a better first impression. First impressions made less from their less attractive counterparts. A mating prospect. Attractiveness is certainly associated with greater reproductive success. So some people believe our tendency to look for attractive people might be a biological tendency, evolved over years, related to evolution, right? So another advantage is parent and peer favoritism. Now, if you go ask your parents if they like you better because you're prettier than your brother and sister, they'll probably tell you no. But the research says that from early childhood, attractive people are more popular. Even their parents see their attractiveness. And attractive babies are perceived more positively. So there you go. Another advantage of being attractive is, we talked about education and employment. Attractive people are more likely to get hired. Electoral success, we talked about politicians with more attractiveness, more likely to get elected. Judicial outcomes, unfortunately, we said that if convicted, attractive people receive lighter sentences. So we talked about the advantages of being beautiful, the economic advantages, and that the impact of this on the beauty industry and the length that we go in order to be attractive, since they have these advantages, certainly. So now we talked about the advantages, what makes a person attractive. We talked last week about youthfulness and unblemished skin, symmetry, right? Averageness, which we'll talk a little bit more about. And I gave you some videos also that we see if someone's femininity in women, and masculinity in men, we see that also as more attractive. Positive expressions from the person as well as positive behaviors seem to make somebody more attractive. So now, with relation to cross-cultural differences, not every culture is going to see the same thing as attractive, right? Certainly, we have learned culturally what we find attractive. If someone, there's a great picture of the woman with the elongated neck. In certain cultures, that would be perceived as beautiful. So there are cultural differences in our ratings and attractiveness, but the research does suggest that Western European people view larger bodies more harshly than people from other cultures. And some cultures see, as we saw, a larger body as more economically sufficient. And certain cultures reward those bigger bodies and suggest it is a highly attractive for marriage for somebody. We talked about the fat houses in Sociology 1, and you can look that up to see. So changing standards, I put some videos for you to watch. But why are certain people attractive? We said we gave some of the reasons, unblemished skin and symmetry, like I said. But we do have preferences for a prototype. So we talked about averages, and if someone is an average type of that, whatever comes to your mind, man or woman, if it fits that prototype, what we think of as the ideal type, we're more likely to see it as attractive. Mere exposure, the more I see you, the more I like you. So this might be someone who's close to you, a next door neighbor, you see them a lot, maybe in proximity as well. We also talked about the good genes hypothesis, that if someone has good genes, maybe we think they're more likely to be a better mate. So, and we talked about the qualities in the good genes hypothesis. So this is what society says is attractive. It doesn't mean that's it. How attractive, how it matters to you is a personal thing. We talked about that last week too. Attractiveness matters, but so do many other qualities, right? So I think it's really important to think about this personally and see what your idea of the prototype is for attractiveness. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks.